What's up, everybody? All right, we're live and rocking. Welcome. My name's Mark, the owner, CEO of Better at Beach, and today we are going to do a little live chat. And what I am thinking is that I'd like to talk about working out, how to build your fitness programs and everything like that. But I am completely happy to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So we're going to be hanging out here for a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I'm tracking this chat, and I'm all yours. So if you guys have any volleyball questions, let's rock and roll. I'm going to get the people on Instagram going right at this moment. All right. If you are new to how this all works, basically, you guys ask volleyball questions and I answer them. And what I will start with is just fixing this camera angle. I know my brother told me that my camera background is crap, so I apologize. We're working on it. Guys, if you're joining us from Instagram and you want to ask me any volleyball questions, come on over to YouTube, Better at Beach Volleyball. That's where I will be answering any questions that people have here. So if we're going to get started, tell you about my days, my weeks. Janelle, my wife, she is 37 weeks pregnant, so baby's on the way. It could be here any day. She could be here in 4 weeks. We don't know, but we're just patiently waiting. And it's been kind of nuts for me because even though we have our Better at Beach camp running in Florida right now, I made the choice. I said, there's absolutely no way, like nothing could stop me from seeing my baby girl be born and being there for my wife. So what I decided to do is skip that camp. It hurts, but I know they're crushing it. We have 63 people there, and I know we have I don't know. I think we have 12 coaches and staff. So camp's going off. It's awesome. It's in Florida. It's happening. But as for me, I'm here at home, chilling, waiting for a baby to arrive and keeping my wife company. So it's been fun. I know most of you guys know that I'm not playing this year. A huge reason for that was, guys, if you're on Instagram, coming over to the YouTube channel so that you can ask me some questions. So a big reason for that was that I just couldn't bear the thought of leaving for weekends to, well, to make less than mediocre money for my family and to miss like the first few months of my girl's life. I just could not rationalize that. So I decided to definitely skip this season. I feel like I'm permanently retired. We'll see. You never know. And I'm going to be coaching some of the bad boys here and there. I'm going to get them out on the beach and then facilitate some practices. And this coming Monday, I know I'm going to be working with Travis Mayweather and just helping him and Avery run a practice. At this point, I just want to be a facilitator. And if somebody wants to get extra reps, I know from the last 15 years playing on AVP, like it is hard. It is hard to like schedule a coach, to schedule other teams to compete. That is really, I think so many athletes drop off from the AVP that could be excellent just because they don't find a coach. They don't get a coach in their corner, and it becomes difficult for you to start asking because you're not making money playing. Usually you're not making a lot of money. And if you're not in the top 6, I believe, of USA athletes, you're not on a stipend. So then you're stuck when you should be a full-time athlete. You're stuck figuring out whether you should try to get sponsorships, try to get a part-time job that's going to take away from your volleyball stuff. And then making a debate between should I have a coach. One smart athlete who I met, Christy Jenkins, she competed at a really high level in Australia. She was a gymnast. I think she was like ranked 7th in the world in trampoline as a gymnast. But she said that when she started playing volleyball, all of her mentality that came from gymnastics, she's just shifted that over to volleyball. And in gymnastics, the number one thing she said that she and her family and all the athletes in gymnastics always looked for was, where is the best coach? Where do I find that? And so all of your money, finances, resources go towards finding the absolute best coach. And that's what she did. And I was like, wow, that's kind of nuts. She said, yep, all my finances went there. And I think for US players, and definitely a lot of other players, again, I was talking to Sam Pedlow and we are talking about this a little bit, but finding a coach and investing in them means that you're now investing negatively. Like if you want to pay a coach full time on the AVP or FIVB, you're not making too much profit anyway, unless you're finding some great sponsors and you're having great success. So there's this line of like, do I really spend the same amount of money that I've made this season in paying for a coach or not? Anyway, that's influencing my decision to just get out there and help some of the guys that I really love, like my buddies and the people who are working and who have given everything to Better at Beach. So that'll start, I guess, next week when everybody gets back from camp. So that's the update on my life. And then what else is happening? Well, you guys aren't asking any questions in the chat, so I'd love to help you in any way I can. So if you do have volleyball questions, if you do have workout questions, nutrition questions, or anything like that, yeah, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep yapping. And John Sanchez, thanks, man. If you want to come over and I can see some of your questions, come on over to the YouTube channel and I will be happy to answer them. So that is me, and that's what I've been doing for this week, as well as just completely, with the help of our amazing web editor, Cheryl, revamping our website. If you have not gone to the Better at Beach website recently, get over there. It's finally getting to the point where you can easily find all of the programs we offered. And we've offered these for a long time, but it takes a long time to actually tell people about them. So we've got these giant libraries built out. We've got a ton of free tools, and it's so easy to find them all now. So if you head on over to that webpage, betteratbeach.com, check it out. I think from a usability standpoint, it's awesome. And now the website is at the point where I wanted it to be when I was coming up through volleyball, like something that's super easy. Do you have online programs? Yes. Do you have a camp I could go to? Yes. Do you have classes I could go to? Yes. And we can find it all, as well as workout programs. So if you're here, I'd like to talk about working out this time of year and fitness, because if you have not started a workout program, you got to get there quick so that you're ready for the first tournament, and let us know. Guys, if you're on YouTube and you're asking questions, I see them popping up, so I'm going to start answering them. If you do want me to answer your question first, go ahead and use the super chat. Any of my members or any people who donate to the channel, it goes a long way. We pay a lot in video editing and filming and people to maintain the channel because we've got so many things going on. So it really helps us continue to keep making free content. So if you want to donate to the channel, that's awesome. Just use the super chat or a super like. And if you want me to answer your question first, you'll go straight to the top of the line. Just go ahead and do that exact same thing. But until that happens, I'm just going to answer the questions that are there now. So, John, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. Random questions from John. I'm in the Midwest and want to play in some twos tournaments, but I don't really know where to look. Any ideas? Absolutely. Just look at AVP America, man. The AVP America website, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong here. It's been a few months since I've been on it, but if you check out AVP America, you can look by regions, you can look by skill level, and you can see all the tournaments that are going on at any time. So I think that's absolutely your best bet. Yeah. Check out AVP America. And if I'm wrong there, guys, if you're looking for those websites or if it's not there, let me know or tell me some good ones. And Cammie, what's up, Candy? If you could give a quick rundown of my days, what should it look like for training when my tourneys are on the weekend? Like, what would it look like? Okay, so Cammy's asking uh, if I were just to design a workout system for you now, just for like this week, and if you had a tournament this weekend. Guys, if you're on Instagram and you want to answer some questions, you want me to answer your questions, come on over to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and you want me to answer your question first, use the super chat. So, what should you do going into a workout? Number one, this needs to be designed, reverse engineered for sure. You should be looking to see at the beginning of the year, when are my tournaments happening? Like, when am I really going for this? Now, for Brandon, I actually just built his season outline because he told me when his tournaments are for the next 60 days. So we reverse engineered it. I want him to be at the best for his tournaments. What does that mean? What's the best? Well, we have to start backwards. So I know when his prime tournament is because he's from Virginia. So he wants to ball out in Virginia Beach. So we have to build everything up to the point where his energy, his legs, he's super fresh at that time. If you're looking at a micro type week, like a small week, if you're going to play on Saturday, you need at least 2 full days of rest from anything where you're going to exert yourself, any high volume activities. High volume is like if you're getting anything over 10 reps for your legs with a heavy weight, we're going to start considering that high volume. Okay. Anything over 10 reps and over 85% of your 1 rep max, that's high volume. And I don't want you to do that for the 2 days before your tournament. However, either the morning of your tournament or the day, maybe the night before, here's something really good. There's something called like central nervous system activation. Okay. So, or stimulation. What you can do, and I'm not going to call this a workout, but you can go into the gym and you can lift either a light weight. So I'm going to say less than 60%. Okay. Less than 60% of your 1 rep maximum. If you don't know what a 1 rep maximum is, it's as much weight as you could possibly lift once. If you have never tested that, or you're just not trained, like you don't have a bunch of training history, do not test your 1 rep maximum. What we do with the 60-day max vertical. So if you guys haven't, if you want to go and check out our vertical jump program, just head on over to bitairbeach.com. You can see our vertical jump program. But we start you with athletic foundations, which means we get your mobility up first. Then we take you through weeks of building your strength. And that's when we start getting your percentages. But do not try to do a 1 rep maximum. You won't know what your 1 rep maximum is. So you shouldn't train at that level until you've gone through a general strength program. And that's what we take you through in that program. Okay. They're all video courses. So all you would have to do is you sign up on bitairbeach.com, follow along with the videos. Okay. Once you've got that general strength, okay, now that's the time when you can test your 1 rep maximum. So if we're again at the day before the tournament or the morning of, there's a couple things you can do to fire up your nervous system without gassing your energy systems. You don't want to deplete yourself. So that's why I said it's not a workout. So I'm going to recommend this: 4 sets of 1 at either 90% or above of your 1 rep max, moving the weight as fast as you possibly can. That's why you have to be trained, because I'm not going to tell you to go lift as much weight as you can and do it fast if you don't have the right technique, if we haven't worked with you or anything like that. Or you can go 4 sets of 1, maybe 2, for 60% or lower under your 1 rep max. What that's going to do is it's not going to fatigue you. You're not going to need repair from that, because what you're trying to do with those maximal speed movements or maximal power movements is you're recruiting as much of the neural muscle fibers or neurons as you can, the muscle neurons as you can. Okay. So they're grabbing on. You're not fatiguing them. You're not actually tearing them. You're not going into your creatine or your carbohydrate stores. You're just telling them that they need to be explosive. So it's a good idea to prime them. Another way to do this if you don't have weight, and this is something that I used to do if I was traveling on the AVP, I would find something very high, because if we need to produce a ton of power or a ton of force, okay, all at once, there's a couple ways to do it. You can jump as high as you possibly can. You can add some weight or you can add some very heavy weight. Okay. The other way to do that is by creating force. So we can do that in reverse. So you could jump off of something really high. Again, don't just go jumping off of high things. I'm trained. I've been doing this since I was 14, 13, 14. I've been lifting, so I can handle it. But I would jump off of something like a refrigerator height and into sand. Okay, so it's a little bit of a softer impact landing. And then if I would do that 4 or 5 times before a tournament, boom, my neurons, my muscle fibers, they have to all be recruited just to stop me in that sand. Never land stiff legged, of course, and don't let your butt drop all the way to the sand. You want to teach your muscles to generate force, which means that they have to generate enough force to stop you in that half or quarter squat. So, like 90 degrees or maybe a quarter squat. Okay. That's a good way to the day before or the morning of your tournament. You can really fire those neurons, and then they'll help you be more explosive during that. Okay. But that's the only workout that you would get. And if you're practicing, so again, you have your tournament on Saturday. Guys, if you're over on Instagram, come on over to YouTube. You can ask any questions you want. Okay. If you have that tournament on Saturday, you need 2 days off from any intensive working outs. So that means that your practice on Friday should be no more than an hour. Most AVP players, they like dedicate that hour, but they get off within 45 minutes. Because again, you don't want to deplete any of your storage, any energy that you need for the tournament that weekend. Okay. Your Thursday practice can be a little bit longer, still not crazy intense. This isn't like your sprint and dig everything. This isn't your hit 100 balls as hard as you can practice. That doesn't happen on Thursday. Thursday is just where you clean some stuff up and you put it into competition. Wednesday is your last big lift. So that's where it's okay to deplete yourself, to go a little bit higher volume. Okay. Higher volume if you're in season, depending on what type of lifting you're doing, right? But we're looking at 12 or less reps at 85% or above of your 1 rep maximum. Again, if you don't like putting heavy weights on you, you could always move lighter weights, 60% or less, very fast. So I'm talking about, like, if you can squat 100 pounds, that's the most you can squat. I want you to take 30, put it on your back, and jump as high as you can. If you've got good technique, if you've been trained, if you're in our complete player program and we're actually watching you do it, because that's what we do in our Facebook group, okay, then that is going to be a good workout. That's going to be a valid workout for you. Okay. But Wednesday's your last day. Again, you need some rest in between those days. So maybe Monday you had another hard workout, or Sunday if you played the last Saturday. So you want to have maximum for a tournament week if you just played a tournament on Saturday. Rest on Sunday, get some light movement and some mobility. Monday, lift hard and practice. Tuesday, practice. Wednesday, lift hard or explosive and practice. Thursday, practice, but only for like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. That's when you're getting all of your, again, fixing up the gameplay. Anything new that you needed to implement that week, that's what you're doing on Thursday. Friday, do a quick run through, no more than 45 minutes. If you want in the evening, then you can do that 4 reps only of ultra explosive power stuff. You could also save that for Saturday morning. And that is the week going into your tournament. Okay. In order to get to that, you have to have weeks of build up. You have to measure things out, and you have to know when you're playing and when you're practicing. I know that most of you don't know when you're practicing and you don't have control of your training. Ideally, we would all have a professional staff of coaches like we do for the complete player program. Okay. But we might not have that. You might not have the ability to control your practices, because you have to know that if you're doing an intense jump as hard as you can, block as many times as you can, and sprint as many times as you can practice, you're going to need to do that the same day that you're working out, because usually you need a rest type day, something where you're working on skills the following day so that your body can recover from that in crazy high impact and energy draining type thing. Okay. So that's how I would design a week of workouts for you. All right. If you have a tournament on Saturday, do some mobility on Sunday, and that's it. A little bit of rehab like bands. On Monday, get in there. Okay. Get in there for at least 12 reps of intense leg exercises, and then throw in, of course, some pull-ups, good shoulder exercises, and some unilateral, which means one leg exercises. Tuesday, no lift, or you can choose to do an upper body lift if you want to get kind of ego about it. But again, we're volleyball players, and you're practicing on Tuesday. Wednesday, again, practice or lift. We don't have to play 5 or 6 days a week. 4 is okay. But Wednesday, practice and lift hard. Thursday, shorter practice, but intense. Friday, extremely light practice, maybe 5 or 6, let's call this like under 10 explosive movements. And explosive movements means as high as you possibly can. Now, remember that when you're jumping, yes, we want to jump high, but you're not moving as high as you possibly can. Usually when you jump to spike, you're probably jumping at like 90%. So that doesn't quite count as a max effort. Okay. I'm going to move on to the other questions. Guys, if you want me to ask your questions first, I see all of these questions just kind of pouring into YouTube. If you want me to ask first, or if you just think my time is valuable, or you've been watching our channel for a little bit and you've gotten a lot out of it and you're not one of our online members, go ahead and add a super like. Donate something to the channel. We've given a lot to the beach volleyball world, and I'd love to keep doing it. So you can show some support by entering a super chat. I'll ask your question first. Answer your question first. Okay. If you're on Instagram, come on over to us. Now, Charles Felix. What's up, Charles? Thanks for your question. Tulio, I see you. I'm coming for you. Joshua, what's up, man? Good to see you as always. Thank you. Steven, good to see you as always. I'm coming for you guys, but I want to answer Charles's question first. What should be your mindset in building a workout program in season versus out of season? Lowering the weight load and upping the cardio. Okay. In season versus out of season. So the great part about going out of season, lifting out of season, that's where I've been since September. I don't have to concern myself with being fresh for volleyball. So out of season, I can push myself harder in the weight room. I can increase my volume, and I can lift more times per week. All right. Now, that plays a huge advantage in my increases. My motor patterns are going to get better and more efficient. My strength is definitely going to increase way more than during the volleyball season. And I don't have to worry about any of those sort of weird tweaks that you would get just through playing. That's something that I'm experiencing right now, is that because I just get to purely lift, I'm not making all of these cuts and kind of weird positions in the air. I don't have to save anything for practices. I can go all in. All of my energy is to lifting. So that means that my body is going to respond that way. That means I'm going to get the most strength increases, the most vertical jump increases, the most speed increases. That's what happens in the off season. You build all of that up until in season. In season is very different, because you still want to be getting better, but you have to conserve energy and recovery for a little bit for practices and a lot of it for tournaments. So you're missing out on that third day where you can just purely focus on strength, because you have to be there mentally and energy wise to pass, to set, to stay in. And that's a very taxing day, a tournament day. So Charles, to answer your question, when we're talking about the difference between building a workout program in season versus out of season, in season, out of season, you're going to be able to do it more times per week, which means you're going to see better strength increases and better motor movement pattern efficiency building. Okay. In season, I'm not saying you're just trying to hang on. You still want to improve, but you won't be able, that's not your full focus. In season, your full focus is winning volleyball. Off season, your full focus is getting your body ready to be an absolute monster. So Charles, I appreciate you watching the channel, man, and I hope that was a good answer for you. And as far as cardio, get your cardio through playing. I mean, you could do some sprints, but if you're talking to me about cardio in the way that most people talk about it, where you're running long distance or you're going for long bike rides or anything sustained for like more than 30 seconds at a time, like if you run at a medium speed for more than 30 seconds at a time instead of sprint, rest, you're doing the wrong type of cardio for volleyball. Okay. Tulio, Maddie, what's up, man? Thanks for coming to the channel. Thanks for asking your question. If you guys are watching on Instagram, you got to come over to the YouTube channel, Better at Beach Volleyball, and I'll answer your questions here. Okay. So Tulio says, I'm preparing to play summer tournaments in Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona. Nice, man. Why didn't you invite me? It is super hot here. I sweat a lot. Any recommendations for hydration, as tournaments are 8 to 10 games a day? Yeah. Tulio, I got to be honest. I've suffered from cramps most of my volleyball career, right? At the end of days, I do go into cramps. I know that there are some things that have definitely helped me recover from them and pushed longer into tournaments. So I'll tell you a few things. Number one, it's hot. So if you're playing Saturday, Thursday, and Friday, you have to start pumping all of these nutrients into your body. You have to go heavy on carbs. Okay, lots of carbohydrates, talking complex carbohydrates, potatoes, pastas, anything like that, thick grains, lots of bread, that's fine, right? Get them in. Ideally, they're coming with some sort of vegetables and fruits, but we don't want to focus on fruits those days. You want those complex carbohydrates that are going to stay in your body for a while so that your body can pull energy from them later on. Okay. When you're Friday night, your pee has got to be clear. Friday night, your pee has got to be clear. I know that might affect some of your sleep going into that tournament. But if cramping is a major problem, if heat is the major thing, you have to prep your body for it. As soon as you wake up, tournament day, you have to have 2 full glasses of water. I'm saying as soon as you wake up, boom, knock one out. And then before your breakfast, have that second one. You have to be drinking that throughout the day. And then you're going to start to mix in some electrolytes. Now, throughout that day, you have to keep having fruit. Okay. Lots of fruit and simple sugars, stuff that gets in there easily. If it's a hot tournament day and you go more than 45 minutes without putting some form of carbohydrate into your mouth and you're playing a tournament, you're failing yourself. Your body is going to knock out on you. Okay. So keep those fruits, keep some of those salts around, as well as some electrolyte tablets. But if it's hot and you're sweating, you cannot go more than 45 minutes without hydrating for sure and getting some form of carbohydrate into you, some form of calories as well. During your match, even more intense. Every side switch, see if you can just swig like a mouthful of either Gatorade or coconut water or something that's going to get those carbohydrates and electrolytes into you. If you watch AVP and FIVB players, you'll see that they always go into their bag and they have some sort of like gel or a protein bar, something. Hopefully they have some carbs with their protein bar that they eat in between those sets. So that'll help. And something that helped me personally is pickle juice. Does anybody else have secrets for cramps? I know that for me, pickle juice in the beginning of my career, I thought it was disgusting, but it saved me so many tournaments so quickly. I was cramping, full cramp, chug pickle juice, disgusting, but it got me out of those cramps quick. So if anybody else has any super secrets about getting out of cramps, let me know. And Tulio, I hope that helps. Okay. Constantly drinking. What should I look for? Okay, Tulio, you got another question. As a 6'9" blocker, what should I look for in a defender to have as a partner? Always find setters and passers first. No matter who you guys are looking for, how big they are, how hard they hit, see if they can pass and set consistently. See if they can set while they're on the move. If you don't have somebody who can do that, you're not going to win, period. That's the easiest first non-starter. If you can't set or set on the move perfectly and you can't pass consistently, we're not playing together. All right, Josh. Thanks, man. Good seeing you. All right. Hope your time waiting for your baby girl is going well. Question. My coaches have been encouraging me to tuck my elbows in and have my hands more vertical while I'm hand setting. Is this necessary? Josh, without seeing how you're setting right now, I don't know whether you should do this or do this, like inside or outside. If you're doing up high, kind of weird, like Tim Baumgren style, that's a strange position. I don't know how it's going to affect you. I don't know what they're trying to do. So, Josh, I'm going to ask you, uh, why are they asking you to do that? What's the reasoning? Because you definitely cannot set from here. This is uh too close, too narrow. Okay. This like easy kind of wherever your hands relax. I can't say that because everybody's body is different, right? But when my hands relax, they're not at 180 degrees. They're definitely not in front of me at 90. They're at this kind of comfortable little bit beyond 45 degrees, and that's a good set for me. This too uncomfortable. I won't be able to do it. So it just depends on what you're actually doing. Tulio, thank you so much for that super like. I appreciate it. And anytime you want to come back and pop in there, I will for sure answer your question. So I appreciate you donating to the channel, man. That means a lot. So back to your question, Josh. Elbows flared out, that's fine. If your elbows are kind of like flaring out like this, that's a weird position to set from for sure. If you're setting nice and high, your elbows have to be flaring out. If you're setting from down here, then they can't be flaring out like this. They're going to have to be somewhere like between 90 degrees. So without seeing how you're doing it right now, I can't tell you. It just depends what effect they're going for. So when we coach athletes, I'll be on the same court telling two athletes complete opposite things. And I have to do that because you have to take them from where they are and get them closer to the midline that you need them at. Right. So I might tell you to flare your elbows, and I might tell somebody right next to you to get their elbows in, depending on what you're doing. All right. So it's a tough question for me to answer without seeing it, Josh. But flared out is fine if you're not like here or doing something weird. And flared out, even if you're high, if you take your set way higher, then your elbows have to be flared out. So I'm not seeing it exactly. And that's all I got. But appreciate it, mine. Steven, guys, we're answering questions on YouTube. So if you want your questions answered, come on over. Steven, and if you guys want your questions answered first, or you just appreciate all the content we put out and you want to donate to the channel, it does mean a lot to subscribe to a membership either on YouTube or on betteratbeach.com. If you do it on betteratbeach.com, we can coach you nonstop. You get access to our private Facebook group. You get access to all of our courses and workout programs. And as you work your way through our training programs, our courses like our arm swing program, our 60-day max vertical program, you post your videos into our private Facebook group, and then we coach you. We actually coach you on your videos, your decision making, your technique, give you modifications. So you have 24/7 coach in your pocket when you sign up at betteratbeach.com. And we have our offense, our attacking, our defense, our blocking, our passing, our setting courses, over 50 practice plans, and a slew of other things. So if you're looking for it, our website has been revamped and it's awesome. Also, we have a bunch of camps coming up. You guys asked for it, so we're doing it. We're doing a bunch of 3-day camps. So just go to betterbeach.com/camps, and you'll see a bunch of 3-day camps that we're running in California. And we also have something that we're doing. It's called Sunday Fun Day. It's for those people who just want a 6-hour, quick, intense hitter. So we've got some 6-hour sessions from how to work out for volleyball, where you would come and I would actually teach you how to lift, how to use free weights, and design a program for you on that Sunday. And then we also have some intense courses like an offensive strategies course for like AA females. So if you want to come to one of those, head on over to betterbeach.com/camps. Check out all of our 3-day upcoming camps and check out our Sunday Fun Days. And if you just want us to coach you 24/7, sign up for that membership, the online membership. It's under online programs at Better at Beach. Okay, back to our questions. Kings Beach Skateboarding. What's up? During a tournament situation, I drank salt water for cramps. Absolutely disgusting, but it worked like a charm. Yeah, so you can add some salts to your water as well. I'm not going to tell you to go and like drink ocean water. That'd be weird, and it wouldn't be too effectual. But if you do add some salt, some people end up like throwing up from it if you add too much. So it's got to be light. I'm less than a teaspoon of salt for sure, less than a teaspoon, and you can drink that and it'll help start getting some electrolyte balance back into your body. So decent recommendation. I like that. Awesome. Thanks, Kings Beach Skateboarding, and thanks for watching. All right, Joshua Britton, they say it's easier to have the ball come out cleanly that way, less control with flared. Yeah, so Josh, again, I don't know if it's easier, maybe not. I would have to see you set personally. Josh, haven't you been a part of our online program? If you do that, go in and do some of the setting drills from the 30-day setting blueprint. I know that a lot of our players like nail their hand setting from doing that 30-day program with us, and then you could post that. Or if you just want to go over to Volley Chat right now, you can go ahead and post a little video of yourself hand setting, and I'll tell you if you need an elbow flare fix or not. Okay. All right. Maria Nestorenko, hello. Do you plan to have any mini camps in the Midwest? Where in the Midwest, Maria? Because we definitely do run camps at Grandstands with John Drake. He's pretty awesome. So we're in the Midwest. We can do some 3-day camps. Right now, I personally am focusing on staying in California so that I can have no time away from my daughter and wife. But I know that we're trying to get something going in Texas. We are trying to get a permanent residency in Florida. So trying to grow. And the more we grow our coaching programs online, the more people can be trained, the better at Beachway, and that we can start that up. So it's possible that we can run some 3-day camps in the Midwest, but no promises. We just need a facility. We need a facility that we can rent, and we want to do it on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's tough during the summer because there's a lot of tournaments that are happening during that time. We definitely do want to go back to Ozark, John, and we're working on something with their nonprofit, Play It Forward. And we're going to give some memberships to some kids who need some mentors. So pretty excited about that. Jacob Normark, what's up? Should you avoid arching your back when hitting and instead keep your torso upright and just open horizontally? Arching your back seems like a terrible position to hit from for your lower back. So yes and no. Number one, you do need torque, right? So torque means that if my hips face forward, if I lock them forward, then I rotate my chest and I get that twist. So you're going to jump, your hips are going to lock forward, your chest is going to rotate backwards. Now, as you do that, you can also generate forward and backward power by opening a little bit. If you intentionally arch to try to like jump and do a back bend, that's not recommended. But what's going to happen naturally, if you broad jump, which you should broad jump in beach volleyball, you should just broad jump way less than you do in indoor. But you want forward momentum through the ball. Watch any AVP and FIVB player and note that when they jump, they land in front of where they jumped. So let's end that discussion. There is a little bit of broad jump in beach volleyball. It's just less than indoor. When you do that, your body counters because you're pushing your hips forward. So as you push your hips forward, in order to counterbalance you, your back does arch, right? So your heels kind of fly back, and then at the same time, because you're pushing your hips and you're retracting your shoulder, you're going to get that natural bend. It's not very important that you intentionally do this because the momentum of your body should do it on its own. And if you stay completely upright, you have no flex in your abs, your abdominals, and less flex in your oblique. I know that you can do that, but even if you watch pitchers, they get this lean, they come back and then they go forward because you want that stretch cycle to happen to generate power, Jacob. So um, don't focus on a back bend, but it's perfectly fine if it happens. Is that clear? Yeah. Just let me know in the chat if that's a clear explanation. It's not a bad position to hit from your lower back. It is if you overdo it. Like yogis, everyone, you can get into back bends in a very safe way. Okay. You just don't want to overdo it to the point where it snaps, where like you hit your limit of your back because of your spine. If you pinch your vertebrae versus just arching in a big tall way, there's a very big difference there. Okay. Tulio Maddie says, are there any options for payment in euros for the courses? So as soon as you pay, Tulio, it'll convert it for you. Your credit card will convert it. So I don't know what the conversion rate, but it's the equivalent of $39 a month, and you get all of our courses, all of our workout programs, all of our practice plans, and you get coached by our staff in our private Facebook group. So you can post your videos anytime you want there. It's insanely worth it. Okay. Maria says Chicago or Detroit. You know, Chicago's been trying to get us to do stuff there for a long time, but it's really hard for people to find courts that we can control and rent. We need to have courts, Maria, that we can actually rent and that we know our hours for 9 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a long time. And if we don't have that, or if we're like in the thread of like we fly out 2, 3, 4 coaches, and then some cop rolls by and he's like, no, you can't be here, we lose a lot right there. So I would love to do it in Chicago. I'm just looking for anyone to tell me that there is a court that they have multiple courts. Like 2 is our absolute lower limit, and we're likely to say no to a 2-court situation. But more than that, 3, 4, 5, those are the 3-day clinics that we want to run. So if we can't rent a court, it's tough for us to get there. All right. Jacob, I've been having some low back pain when activating my opposite hip as I start my swing. So I thought it was because I was arching my back too much. Okay. Yeah. Jacob, I mean, first of all, you have to be going through mobility. If you've got back pain and you're not doing a legit glute activation program, you need to get on it. If you need help with that, just go to Mobility for Volleyball on our website. It's easy to find. If you're not doing some hangs like decompression, I'll tell you something that really makes my back feel better is when I actually hang and I let my whole lower body go completely dead. I decompress, traction for the low back. That's a big one. And then you also have to strengthen your core in proper places. I think too many people end up when they squat, especially when they do lower body exercises, they really stick their butt out and they like pinch their spine to the max before they put weight on it. Then from that pinch position, now they're adding weight. It's a bad idea. Okay. You're going to end up causing some pain and tightness there. So you absolutely, Jacob, you have to have a core program. You have to have a mobility program. And that has to include a bunch of glute activation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just join the 21-day program that we have, Mobility for Volleyball. It goes through all of that every single day, and it's for $27. If you don't feel better at the end of that, then it's time to see a physical therapist and figure out what's going on. John Wagner says, how many courts do we need to run a mini camp? So the way that we're working now, we need at least, let's just put it like this, we need at least 3 courts to run a camp or a mini camp. Otherwise, it's not worth it. We get a lot of requests to run camps, and we'd like to be able to do them all. But because of the quality that we put out, this is like humble brag. You know, we give everybody swag. We pay for lunch. We give shirts and hats and lanyards and all that. We fly people out there. I make sure that my coaches are comfortable because they are professional athletes. And we give you access to our programs. We get personal development talks at these clinics. So they're not just clinics. They're not just like a 3 hour show up with 200 people and say, hey, do these drills. We get really involved. So for our clinics, to be able to dedicate an entire weekend for the amount of people and the amount of energy that we need to put in, call it a minimum of 3 courts. And if we have those rented and we know what we have to pay there, there's a limit for what we can pay per court per hour. But once we know that, then we can start moving forward. Francisco Limus, you want us to come to Indianapolis, Indiana. We've got a crew in Indianapolis, in Indiana, actually. I know we've got some fans there, so we might have to come out to Indiana and run it. I mean, I know Indiana is the home of like just developing backyard jump shots, but let's make it the home of volleyball. And doesn't wait a second. Where's Will Robbins' place? Francisco, do you know where Will Robbins is? I think he's in Powered Volleyball. Luke Blanchette. Hey, I'm a new member. Just started the 21-day program. Do you have a video that gives tips on how to play for shorter players? Absolutely. So Luke, if you are in our membership, the Better at Beach membership, go into, did you sign up for the membership or just the 21-day program? Because if you're a member, then all you got to do is you go into the attacking masterclass. In the attacking masterclass, after we cover all the bases, we get into strategies. And then there will be a video that talks specifically about shorter players, like how to win when you're playing short, and vision. So if you're shorter, we know that vision is going to be everything. Ideally, everyone should have vision, but you're just going to need to be extra excellent at vision, extra excellent with control. So make sure that you never spike a ball without looking at the other side of the court first. If you just attacked a ball and you thought, before I hit that, I didn't know what the other side of the court looked like, you did something wrong. Okay. But we cover definitely all of that. So if you're in the library in your membership, just go into the attacking masterclass and we get into all that vision stuff in, I think, the 7th or 8th chapter lesson there. But Luke, thank you so much for being a member. And I hope you're loving that 21-day program. All right. Kings Beach skateboarding. What are the best stretches, warm-ups before a game for a shoulder which already has a lot of pain? I don't have a producer, but if you guys donate to the channel, we can get a producer. I'm just going to type in Better at Beach warm-up on YouTube. And there it is. Ultimate full body warm-up. And yes, ultimate full body warm-up. That is what we go through in our camps. So let's see if I can pull that link for you. Share, copy. Nice. Yeah. All right. So I'm posting it into the chat. Kings Beach skateboarding. That warm-up covers your whole body, but it does not include bands. If you want to look at a shoulder rehab program, you could sign up for either our Fix Your Arm Swing in 21 days. You could also sign up for our full mobility program, Mobility for Volleyball on the website, that gives you everything you need for your entire body: glute activation, shoulder strengthening and stability, rotational exercises, as well as just opening your body to allow you to move the right way. So once you sign up for the library, you've got access to all of those. All right. Jason Smith for the AA mini camp in California. Will you verify that all players at least have an A rating to get in? Jason, not yet. I don't want to have to do that. I know that everybody kind of overrates themselves. It's a problem. It's a problem in our camps. People think that they're better than they are. And part of the reason this happens is, I know why it happens. Because when you play at home, if you're a B player, When you play at home, there's often a mix. There's a mix in your community of like A, B, maybe lower than B, kind of beginner, and you all play together. So then you see yourself and you say, well, I play with A players. Or what happens is you play with better players enough that you get better contacts. Somebody next to you fixes something for you because they're at a better level. That's what happens in everybody's hometown. When everybody comes, when we get these large numbers of people coming to camps, okay, then we as the coaches, and I guarantee that we do this objectively, we as the coaches put everybody who is at the same skill level on the court together. During the afternoons, the tournaments, the free play, everybody can play with whoever they want. But we put people top to bottom. Number one, we try to make sure that the court works as well. So there's always going to be a best player, there's always going to be a worse player, but we keep that level tight. If you're used to playing with a variety of levels, you think some people stink, you think you're pretty good because another person fixes something bad that you've done. But if you play with all people exactly at your level and you're a B or an A player, no one can really fix or repair what you're doing. And so you get this sort of inflated ego. And then when you're put exactly with people who are exactly at your level, you get frustrated. And that's what happens to us with camps. That's a little insider look at what we have to deal with. But we still do pretty good. We only have, one or two people who are begging or demanding to get onto another court, whether or not they belong there at camps. So short answer is no, Jason. Currently, we are not going to verify that it's AA. We are just hoping that no beginners show up because we have a specific beginner Sunday camp. And B and A are pretty similar. Just depends what city you're in, what state. And A and AA. Hey man, a AA player in California is an open player anywhere else. So we'll see how it goes. But there's going to, if we have a full camp, there's going to be two coaches. And to have only 12 people and two coaches, you're going to get 8, 16. You're going to get close to 22 hours of training in 3 days, which is nuts. So everybody will get what they're looking for. All right, work in progress, 2:20. Guys, I got 9 minutes left. And if you've gotten anything out of this and you want to donate to the channel with a super chat, a super like, or if you just want to become a mentor at Better at Beach, we'd love it. We'd love to work with you deeper. So check us out, betteratbeach.com. We've got camps, we've got online courses, we've got workout programs, and we are starting to beef up our coaching programs. But for now, I'm just going to keep hanging out with you. So work in progress 2:20. If a player has the height or vertical to play as a blocker, does it make sense to focus on being a blocker at higher levels? There seem to be multiple defenders for every blocker. Work in progress 20. If you are tall, decent blocker, and you can set, you're going to have players begging to play with you. Everybody wants to play with a big blocker who can set. You're whatever, Madonna, Marilyn Monroe. Everybody just wants to be with you. Okay. When you're getting to that top level, open and beyond, then you're going to have to make a decision. If you're mid-sized, if you're like 6'2", 6'3" to 6'5", you have to say, do I market myself as a blocker so that I have access to a larger number of defenders and I can play with more people? Or do I try to become the best defender that I can in hopes that I can cherry pick one of the 5 guys in the country that can get the job done at the highest level? It's a tough call to make. And, somebody who struggled with that, like Kyle Friend, Brandon Joyner, he's still in that sort of mix, right? Where he's 6'4". Kyle Friend, I think, is same height, 6'3", 6'4". Kyle Friend was a defender forever. Look where he found the most success, becoming a blocker to play with somebody who he just matched with. Joyner's in that middle zone too. He can defend, he can block, but he's marketed himself as a blocker so that he has access to more players, because there are definitely more people in the world under 6'3" than there are over 6'3". So do the math and you'll know that If you market yourself as a blocker and you tell people that you block and you can set, you're going to have a big pool of people who want to play with you. John Wagner, you're hanging out, man. I love it. I'm worried I missed this because I had to take off for a little bit. I'm in the full program and want to get back into lifting game, but I'm doing sports Monday and Wednesday and traveling a lot. Don't feel like I have enough time to do more than 2 lifts a week. John, all you need is 2 lifts a week. So if you want, John, since you're in the program, I'm currently doing a 2 to 3 lift a week program for myself. Okay. And all it means is that you have to train full body every time. So if you're doing 2 lifts a week, you got to be full body every time. If you want, I'll give you my program that I'm currently doing. It's not the max vertical program. It's not the 60-day program because that's designed specifically for volleyball. Mine's a little bit more off season program and strength building, a little bit less speed, but I will show you exactly my program. So John, if you want to kind of meet offline, since you're a member, just hit me up. You know where my Instagram is, and let's talk about it. And we can get on a phone, and I'll be happy to modify it for you. So don't worry, I got you. 2 weeks or 2 days a week is absolutely fine. You just have a lot to do in those sessions, and I'll tell you all about it when we meet. So I got you. Any suggestions? Maria says, any suggestions on how to gain strength back in a finger after an injury? Was it broken? Just a tendon issue? Well, I mean, if it doesn't fully unbend as well, you might have had a tiny little ligament tear. That happens. A lot of volleyball players, they kind of get hit weird and they get an actual ligament tear. But there's so many finger exercises that you can do. If you're always hanging out in the sand or at the beach, literally just grab as much sand as you can. Keep trying to drag your fingers through and claw at sand. That's going to be a big way. Put your fingers into the sand and try to spread it. Put them deeper and try to spread it. Those things are going to help your digits. But without knowing your injury, Maria, don't know. The only way to strengthen it is to rehab it and stretch it and put it into those positions. And so there's a lot of finger gripping exercises, both out and in, that you can do. And if you're spending a lot of time in the sand, which if you're watching this channel, you might be, then get in there, spread, and just do that as many times as you can. And same thing in reverse, claw down this way, claw and spread, claw and spread. And you might get some more strength back into that a little bit quicker. All right, guys, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I hope this is good. If you ever need anything from me, reach out. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe. If you love a video and you think your friends should see it, tell them or share it with them and tell them to subscribe. As you know, we have 7-day camps. We have 3-day camps. We have a lot of them coming out in California, and they're level and gender specific. So make sure that you check out the website. Look at betterbeach.com/camps. We have a ton of free tools. If you want to learn how to talk to your partner, if you want to learn exactly what type of offense you should run, okay, go to our free tools section of our website, betterbeach.com, and then just look at the header. It says free tools. If you want a workout program, we have a full mobility program, 21 days, and we have a 60-day vertical jump program specifically for volleyball players. And of course, our membership gives you access to 24/7 coaching. And I know that sounds nuts, but anytime you ask a question in our Facebook group, you get to also post any of your videos from the drills that we give you in the program. We dive in there and we coach and we work with you so that you literally have a 24/7 coach for only $39 a month. So if you want to get better at this game, this is 100% the easiest path. Okay, check it out. And if you don't like it, as always, we always have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like what you see, easy. Just get your money back. But I think you'll like it. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for... Oh, we got one more question from Sophie. How many times do we need to be good at volleyball from 0? 10. I don't know, Sophie. I don't know the answer to that question. All right. That's it from me. Instagram, thanks for hanging out. YouTube, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to try to do this every Thursday evening. Hit me up, ask me questions, or sign up for the program, and you get a lot more access to me. No, that's not the way I want to sign off. I just want to sign off by saying thank you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy and your attention. It means a lot, and you'll be hearing a lot more from me. So wish me luck with my daughter. She should be here anytime in the next 3 weeks. So wish me and my wife luck. I can't wait to meet her. Very excited and looking forward to that. And during that time, you might hear from me less because I'll be spending time with my family. All right. Love you guys and see you later. See you in the sand.